Crystal chandeliers glitter, casting a dazzling light on the polished marble floors of the grand ballroom. A tiered champagne fountain overflows with sparkling liquid, a beacon of opulent excess. The grand ballroom is a kaleidoscope of designer gowns and bespoke suits, a vibrant tapestry of wealth and revelry. Wealthy guests, deep in conversation and laughter, fill the opulent space, the air vibrating with polite chatter. The rhythmic clinking of glasses punctuates the lively atmosphere, a constant backdrop to the evening's delights. Aries, the housekeeper, glides almost imperceptibly through the throng, a tray of empty flutes held steadily in her hands. Aries steps into the bustling kitchen, the air thick with the scent of roasted meats and cleaning supplies. Chefs bark sharp orders as staff members rush past, trays laden with empty dishes. With practiced precision, Aries efficiently sorts empty glasses, her movements quick and silent. Hushed snippets of conversation float through the air, speaking of guests and unseen hierarchies. The stark contrast between the elegant ballroom and the chaotic kitchen is palpable. In the dimly lit library, Aries, a figure of quiet efficiency, polishes a mahogany desk, her movements precise. Towering bookshelves cast long, dramatic shadows across the opulent room, concealing secrets within their depths. Robert Thorne, a prominent businessman, paces in a far corner, his voice a hushed, agitated murmur on the phone. He speaks in coded language, mentioning offshore transfers and covering tracks, oblivious to being watched. Hidden deep in the shadows, Aries remains unseen, her presence almost ethereal. Her eyes, sharp and observant, track Robert's every anxious movement, missing nothing. Aries, a silent shadow, pushes a cleaning cart down the opulent hallway of the Hawthorne estate, marble gleaming under soft light. In a recessed alcove, Diana clutches Mark's arm, their faces close, voices hushed in urgent whispers. Aries's eyes flicker towards the intense pair, catching the subtle tremor in Diana's desperate grip. The hushed conversation intensifies, their secrets hanging heavy in the air, a silent plea in Diana's worried eyes. The quiet squeak of Aries's cartwheels is the only sound as she glides past, leaving their intense exchange behind. The grand ballroom pulsates with a symphony of chatter and clinking glasses, a vibrant backdrop to Aries's quiet efficiency. Her gaze, sharp and unseen, locks onto Mr. Harrison, who nervously glances at his watch, his eyes darting around the room. He abruptly excuses himself, his movements swift and furtive, as he makes for a side exit, a phantom in the crowd. Aries watches, her expression a mask of inscrutability, giving nothing away as the drama unfolds. In the opulent Hawthorne estate, Mr. Hawthorne sits at his grand desk, his face grim, etched with worry. He reviews a stack of documents, his brow furrowed, a silent battle raging within him. With sharp, deliberate movements, he picks up his phone, the weight of his decision palpable. His voice, tight with barely suppressed anger, cuts through the stillness as he makes a call. A financial report lies open on the desk, a glaring deficit highlighted in stark, ominous red. The crimson stain on the page mirrors the silent fury and despair in Mr. Hawthorne's eyes. The grand ballroom, once alive with music and laughter, is abruptly plunged into a chilling silence. Every head in the room turns as a collective hush falls, heavy and expectant, upon the assembled guests. All eyes fix on Mr. Hawthorne, who stands on a small, elevated stage, a microphone clutched firmly in his hand. His face, usually warm and jovial, is now stern, etched with a cold, unsettling resolve. The stark contrast in his expression sends a ripple of unease through the silent onlookers. The air crackles with anticipation, a profound stillness preceding an unforeseen revelation. In the opulent grand ballroom, a low hum of conversation fills the air, abruptly silenced by a booming, disembodied voice. Mr. Hawthorne's voice echoes, "Someone here has stolen $2 million from my company." A palpable ripple of shock and disbelief spreads through the elegantly dressed crowd, their faces frozen in disbelief. Guests exchange uneasy glances, their expressions shifting from polite amusement to dawning suspicion. The grand ballroom, once elegant, now vibrates with a sudden, unsettling shift as Mr. Jenkins points a trembling finger at Mr. Davis. His accusation rings out, clear and sharp, cutting through the ambient chatter as guests' faces contort in shock and discomfort. The elegant party swiftly devolves into a chaotic scene of finger-pointing and heated arguments, tempers flaring. At the very back, almost a part of the shadows, Aries stands, observing the unfolding drama, her presence unnoticed. The grand ballroom descends into a cacophony of raised voices and frantic movement, a storm of escalating chaos. Suddenly, a calm, clear voice cuts through the din, instantly silencing the room, an unexpected hush falling. Every head swivels, eyes searching for the source of the commanding sound. Aries, the housekeeper, stands quietly by a champagne cart, her soft demeanor belying her powerful presence. Her voice, though gentle, rings with absolute authority. Actually, he's right. Robert Thorne, his face twisted in a sneer, lets out a harsh, derisive laugh that echoes through the grand ballroom. He gestures expansively, his open hand inviting others to join his cruel amusement, but no one stirs. The room remains eerily silent, a tense stillness hanging in the air as guests watch, intrigued by his audacity. Thorne's eyes gleam with a challenge as he utters, "A housekeeper thinks she knows what happened." His words hang heavy, dripping with disdain, a clear insult aimed at the unseen housekeeper, sparking silent tension. In the opulent ballroom, Aries stands defiant, a quiet storm brewing within her. Undeterred by the hushed whispers, she begins to walk, her footsteps echoing in the sudden silence. Her posture is regal, her gaze unwavering, as she commands the attention of all present. The guests watch, their faces a canvas of curiosity, disdain, and nascent intrigue. Aries is no longer merely a figure in the background. She is the focal point, a force to be reckoned with. Each step she takes redefines her presence, transforming her from overlooked to undeniable. Aries, a formidable presence, halts a few feet from Robert Thorne, her gaze piercing through the grand ballroom. Her eyes, unwavering and resolute, lock onto Thorne, a silent challenge in the opulent space. A collective gasp ripples through the onlookers, a barely audible tremor of anticipation and shock. The sudden palpable tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. Thorne's confident smirk begins to falter, a flicker of unease betraying his composure. Aries' voice cuts through the silence. "I know because I saw you make the call in the library." In the grand ballroom, Aries speaks with quiet authority, her voice cutting through the opulent air. Robert Thorne's face drains of color, her words striking him like a physical blow, his amusement vanishing. The tension in the room thickens, palpable and heavy with anticipation, as Aries reveals, "And I also know the offshore account you used." Aries' gaze holds steady, watching the impact of her revelation ripple through the room. In the opulent ballroom, Robert Thorne forces a brittle smile, his composure cracking under the weight of an unseen burden. His eyes dart nervously across the room, seeking a flicker of understanding, a hint of support. Only stunned silence and curious, unwavering stares meet his desperate gaze. A single, desperate question hangs in the air, piercing the quiet. "How would you possibly know that?" Aries holds Thorne's gaze, an unspoken challenge passing between them, the grand ballroom's tension coiling tight. She pauses, allowing the silent dare to ripple through the opulent space, every breath held in anticipation. Every guest, every servant, is transfixed, their eyes riveted on the invisible housekeeper. The air crackles with unspoken words, as the ballroom hangs suspended in a moment of profound silence. The diffused spotlight sharpens, its beam now a piercing, singular focus upon Aries. She stands bathed in the intense light, the undeniable center of all attention, a powerful presence. Aries commands the grand ballroom stage, her voice echoing through the opulent space, holding every guest captive. The expectant faces of the guests lean forward, a sea of intrigue hanging on her every word. Mr. Hawthorne's intense gaze fixes on Aries, a subtle flicker of understanding in his eyes. His expression is a complex blend of curiosity and recognition, hinting at a shared history. Aries, poised and confident, prepares to reveal a secret. Because before I worked here, the air crackles with anticipation as her words hang, a dramatic pause before a profound revelation. Aries, with a chilling calmness, reveals, I was a federal financial investigator. A collective gasp rips through the impeccably dressed crowd, a wave of shock washing over their faces. Whispers ignite like wildfire, turning the grand ballroom into a swirling vortex of hushed conversations and wide-eyed stares. Robert Thorne's jaw drops, his face contorting into a mask of profound shock and utter defeat as the room falls silent. Robert Thorne attempts a weak, nervous laugh, a desperate sound echoing in the grand ballroom. His eyes dart frantically, seeking an escape from Aries's undeniable truth. He is trapped, cornered by the accusation, with nowhere to run. The laughter is hollow, unconvincing, a pathetic facade crumbling under pressure. In the grand ballroom, two burly security guards, summoned by Mr. Hawthorne's subtle nod, advance with unwavering purpose. Robert Thorne, caught in their formidable grip, offers only feeble protests, his words lost in the ballroom's hum. His face contorts into a mask of raw humiliation and simmering anger as he's firmly escorted towards the exit. He struggles against their hold, a desperate, futile attempt to reclaim his dignity in front of the silent onlookers. The heavy, ornate doors of the ballroom swing shut with a resounding thud, sealing his expulsion from the opulent scene. Thorne is gone, but the echo of his humiliation lingers, a dramatic end to his presence in the grand hall. The grand ballroom, once vibrant with music and laughter, now stands cloaked in an unsettling, thoughtful silence. Guests gather in hushed, anxious clusters, their voices barely whispers amidst the sudden stillness. Eyes dart nervously, drawn by an unseen force, towards Aries, a figure now barely perceptible. Aries, with an almost supernatural ease, has melted back into the background, a ghost among the serving staff. Her presence, once commanding, now fades into the tapestry of the event, leaving only a lingering unease. In the opulent ballroom, Aries moves with purpose, clearing the last champagne flutes from scattered tables. The air, once thick with celebration, now holds a lingering scent of fear, a palpable shift in the atmosphere. Guests, their demeanor transformed, watch Aries with a complex mix of awe and respect. Their gazes, once dismissive, now follow her every move, a distinct hint of fear in their eyes. No longer do they see a mere housekeeper, but a woman with a formidable past, her presence undeniable. Aries, with her sharp, incisive intellect, has undeniably commanded their attention and respect. Aries glides into the quiet kitchen, the last echoes of the evening's bustle fading into a soft hum. With practiced grace, she places the final tray of glistening glasses into the waiting dishwasher. Maria approaches, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and surprise, a silent question in her gaze. Maria's voice, barely a whisper, breaks the stillness. Aries, I had no idea. A small, knowing smile plays on Aries's lips, a silent acknowledgement of a secret unveiled. Aries glides through the silent, elongated hallway of Hawthorne Estate, the mansion's usual bustle replaced by an eerie stillness. Her gaze lingers on the library, a silent acknowledgement of the night's unfolding drama, as the house exhales a heavy silence. A polished mirror catches her reflection, revealing a woman whose true depth is veiled beneath a calm exterior. The weight of the evening settles around her, hinting at secrets yet to be unveiled within the quiet, imposing walls. In her simple room at Hawthorne Estate, Aries sits on her bed, a small, worn photograph clutched in her hand. The photograph reveals a previous life, a striking image of her in a sharp suit, a stark contrast to her current surroundings. A faint, knowing smile plays on her lips as she gazes at the image, her eyes reflecting a hidden depth of understanding. The scene ends with a quiet power, a testament to the unexpected places where true knowledge often resides.